Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name's HardByte and this is Democracy 3. I'm going to be playing a mod called Monkey Island, which is, for those who don't know, based on an old point-and-click adventure game. In my opinion, one of the best point-and-click adventure games of all time. That is partly because my nostalgia blurs my vision. But yeah, it was a fantastic game, and as we see, if we look, the world may believe that the time of pirates is over, but the customs never died on Monkey Island. While upholding the front of a law-abiding nation, we'll secretly work on restoring the glory of former days. When we're done, Monkey Island will be the second greatest nation you have ever seen. We shall become the second greatest nation. We have a population of 7 million, a size of 25,000 square kilometres, not too big, life expectancy of 40 while raiding, GDP per capita, some diamonds even, or spices, maybe virgins. 80% of our jungle has been preserved, and 100% of our people believe in voodoo, and our chewing tobacco is 6.3 tonnes consumed on the daily. So let's fix this country's problems. Oh, player's party name, okay. So, we need, in classic Monkey Island fashion, how about... I know. The Rubber Chicken Pulley Party. Is there an A in Pulley? I think there is. I want to put an A in Pulley. If there isn't, it's so I can copyright it. And the opposition, we have to make the... yeah, I've got it. The Scum Party. Perfectly apt. That will do. Term limit, we have 3 terms, see how well we can fix the problems. Term length in years 4, that's fine. Difficulty 100%, that sounds about right. Innate socialism, political apathy, innate liberalism. Okay, so I think this is all already set for me, except I think an island would have hurricanes, so I'm going to put that on. Other than that, yeah, we have nothing else. We have a governor, not a monarchy, so that's play. So basically, for those who don't know, Democracy 3 is a game about creating and changing policies to influence a country. Here is my new job as Threepwood. I'm sure that was a surname. The lives of all 7 million citizens are now in my hands. There are a number of situation concerns I'll need to deal with, keep an eye on the long-term improvements of our quality of life. And in 4 years I face re-election. Okay, that's fine. Our GDP is not looking too good. Nothing is looking very good. Crime's low though, which I guess if piracy isn't a crime, then that makes sense. Okay, so here we go. If you've never seen Democracy before, the white circles are policies that you can change and affect, and then the blue circles are sort of the outcomes of those policies. So for example, if I hover over violent crime, it will show that handgun laws, alcohol law, the police force and community policing all contribute towards violent crime. And violent crime in addition has a knock-on effect to things like racial tension, tourism, education, which brings it down. So you need to tweak and change your policies in order to get the best outcome for your country. The red circles are really bad. These are negative effects, and I've got quite a few of them. So for example, we have a decline in piracy, which is obviously a significant issue for a pirating island. So our 2 effects of productivity and piracy, I believe this was, caused that decline. So things like our naval spending and our investment in the Insult Sword Fighting Academy are going to be quite important. So if we take a look at our Insult Sword Fighting Academy, this doesn't help health, of course, because more people are sword fighting, but tourism and piracy go up and the youth like it. So if we take a look, we'll see, battling the crew of a ship we want to plunder is a lot easier if we know the fine art of insult sword fighting. Here, a new generation of pirates will be taught how to psychologically destroy their opponents. And we have our fantastic minister, Bosun the What, who has 42% effectiveness. That'll do. And adds to the implementation time. So we're currently spending 275 million per quarter. So with policies, you can adjust this slider to increase or decrease cost. And as you can see in the middle around here, the increase or decrease has an effect on each concerned group. So the more money I put into insult sword fighting, the worse the health of people, because more people are sword fighting. insultingly. But the more the youth are happy and tourism and piracy both improve. So that could, for example, lead to a higher income but more people dying, or people dying younger, which has a negative effect on my GDP. However, being that this is a Monkey Island mod, I'm not exactly sure if everything is going to work as it would in a traditional democracy game. I've only played about 3 hours of this game, so I am still playing catch up and getting my head around some of the features. Up in the top right, we're bringing in 67 billion, but we're spending 73 billion. That's not good. So we're losing money each year, which will increase our debt. The 25 is how much political capital I have to make changes. So, for example, if I wanted to invest in cannons, which is perfect, is we look down here, it costs 6 political capital to raise the funding into cannons. It costs 9 to lower the funding, so it's actually easier to raise funding and invest more money than it is to save money and reduce it, as Guybrush Blondbeard is quite helpfully informing me. Thank you, sir. We can bring other policies in as well. If you go to this light bulb at the top and click, it comes up with policy ideas. These again cost to implement. So for example, citizenship tests cost 25 political capital and take 2 courses, so 2 turns to come into effect, and also the cost. Now when you do implement a policy, you can actually adjust the slider for free. So you can come in with a policy and like massively invest in it, or just have it working at a bare minimum immediately. You don't have to spend double for the same thing. So if I look at my groups of people, we can see there's a lot of socialists, there's a lot of liberals, a lot of middle income chaps. There aren't many young people, there aren't many self-employed, which I would have thought piracy would feed into. And I'm not the most popular guy. So let's have a look at my chart of expenditure. So what am I spending the most on? State pensions, state health service, state schools. Now I want to roleplay this as a pirate, or someone running a pirate land, Monkey Island. So I'm thinking pirates did have a pension, pirates did have a health service. School, is school important for pirates? Is military spending important? Because I can put that money into cannons instead. So what I may do is cut down on the military spending. So if I click this, it opens up the military spending and we can see all the effects it has. So if I reduce from 7 billion, this right down, patriots get really pissed off. State employees drop, and as does, what's this? I'm not sure what's going on here. Okay, membership of the state employees group drops, so less people are employed by the state. That makes sense. The liberals, okay, yeah, the liberals just aren't happy if I have an overwhelming force, which I'm inclined to agree with. So if we take it from here, we actually reduce unemployment. Oh no, we don't. Okay, so it doesn't help unemployment. Patriots aren't happy. State employees. Okay, so we don't really get any benefits from this other than saving money, but we do need to save money, so I'm going to put this down to 2 billion, which will cost most of my capital for this turn. There we go, I'll apply those changes. Okay, and now what we're going to find is as that slowly changes over time, we'll start to save more money. Now I believe this has got to be voodoo. It's got to be. Okay, yeah, fantastic. That increases legal drug consumption and tourism. Yeah, that works. And it also boosts health. Okay, excellent. Food is good for you guys. So if we look at this, MIT... Okay, the Monkey Island training facility for future witch doctors, of course. The MIT FFFWD. Boasting to us again, thank you. It's famous for hoarding the greatest and most detailed collection of voodoo knowledge in the whole world. We shall make good use of it. Now, I've just saved a few billion in the long run, and if I put money into this, it will reduce unemployment. Now, this is a bit confusing with this game. If you see a red bar going down, that means that it reduces whatever it refers to. So in this case, it will reduce unemployment. It doesn't mean it has a negative effect, it means it reduces whatever is in question. And also education and voodoo will both go up. Now I don't have the capital to do this just yet. I only have 6 capital, but for next turn I think that may be a good choice. So let's revert those changes and close, and see if we can find something we can actually look into putting money into. So if we have a fake anti-piracy campaign, so we'll give other nations the impression that we're actually concerned about the pirates of our nation, as if. Thank you, Slappy Van Helgen, for your input. You're not very effective, and you add 5% to the costs of everything. That's not the most fantastic thing, but we can improve foreign relations. For now, we'll leave it as it is. We're already running a good fake piracy campaign. What's this about? Naval spending. Okay, so if I go back to piracy, we want to get rid of this piracy decline. So if we look, insult sword fighting is going to improve piracy, which isn't looking too great. And we also could invest in naval spending or cannons. So if we look at naval spending, oh, that's actually quite expensive, and we can't afford to raise it. So let's have a look at cannons. Buccaneers buddy. Okay, we can upgrade our cannons, and it makes the Patriots a bit happy. 1.5 billion. Okay, so if we up this to Mr. Massacre. Okay, let's just have a look at his names. Buccaneers buddy, the Ouch Master, Holemaker Deluxe, I like that one, Pain Giver 2000, Mr. Massacre, and the Destructor Massacre T47. Okay, the Destructor Massacre's quite expensive. If we go to round it off at a flat billion, then we're... I don't want to add half a billion. I think I do, because I get a massive increase in the half a billion. Yeah, we're gonna go all the way. I'm gonna spend our last 6 points. So if we apply those changes, click OK. Now, as for the cabinet, you'll have seen some of those wonderful couth and dapper people. This is my fantastic cabinet. We have Slappy Van Helgen, we have Zima Fettuccine on welfare, we have Guybrush Blondbeard on economy, on tax Haggis the Chimp, public services boasting the what? Yeah, we've met her. Slappy Capsize on Law and Order. I think he's the right guy for that job. And Kenny Domingo on transport. Now, what you can do, you can spend capital to either fire a minister or reshuffle a whole cabinet. Now, this does cost capital, and it can have negative effects in the long run. The longer you have a cabinet, the more effective and loyal they can become. But sometimes you will have potential ministers who will be better. So you have to balance out whether you want to build your ministers up and keep them loyal, or if you just want to get rid of them and get some like fantastic gentleman like Philbert Scallion in to deal with welfare, for example, and he brings 4.7 political capital, which is quite a lot. Or Herman Blondbeard, who is a very, very loyal guy, but as you can see, a lot of these aren't very effective, and a lot of the effective ones have less loyalty, like Zima Capsize, the legendary Zima Capsize, and ancient rival in welfare, Zima McMutton. The Zima McMutton's got nothing on Capsize though, I have to say, except she's retired, so I'm not sure why she wants to be in the cabinet. But anyway, that's the cabinet in a nutshell. We also have some other things over there, like security briefings. We have graphs of all the opinions, we have financial data, so you can click on these, and like before, I can go to my income, I can go to charts of, you know, how my debt's getting along compared to my income. The intelligence briefing tells me what groups on Monkey Island I have to watch out for, basically. So you have people like the Battenberg group or the Moral Crusade, who can be up to no good. And if you sort of pee those people off enough, they can actually get quite a big following and then rise up in rebellion against you. So hopefully I'll be able to keep them all suppressed. Nice and suppressed. What about creation versus evolution? I'm teaching both systems. Okay, so that is contributing to my technology backwater, so I may have to bump this up. So I'll revert those changes for now, and we'll go to next turn. Okay, so at the end stroke start of each turn, you get a quick summary of the situation. So for example, we know there's a deficit of 4 billion, we already knew that. The Human Rights Society have been criticising the government on the radio. People are indifferent to my government, but I'm over 50% for the election, which isn't too bad. The global economy is having a massive recession, so we can't do anything about that, but it will affect our GDP. And the loyalty of my ministers can be described as loyal. That's a fairly good description for loyalty. And their effectiveness is generally considered to be adequate. Well, you can't ask for more than that. Now, sometimes you'll get these questions that come to your immediate attention, like debt protection law. Debt collection agencies have been in the news because of the aggressive methods they're using to extract payment from people. Basically, the Wonga and payday loans that are out there and so popular. I can choose to either limit the agency activity or let the agencies carry on. So basically, is it up to people to borrow debts to be responsible, or should I help the weakest and poorest? Well, I personally would say that as a pirate, if these debt agencies are keeping people in debt, they will have nothing to loot. So if we limit them, we can keep all that dealing to ourselves. So let's continue, and we come back to our turn now. We'll have 25 political capital again. So if I can remember what I was going to do last time, was it insult sword fighting? Was that it? Was I going to increase funding? I can't remember. I have these fantastic plans, and then a turn passes and it's all gone. There's a woman who's smuggling a baby through a courtroom. Or abortion law, sorry, that's a bit more serious. Now, if we look at the creation of Evolution 1, you can see that it costs 30 political capital to raise. That doesn't mean I can never raise it, because I can actually save some of my capital over each turn. I think if I click here, I have, if you look at my maximum political capital just down here, this is the most I can save it up to. So I could technically skip this turn and then have 50 to spend next turn. But if I skipped another turn, it wouldn't go beyond 50. So let's look at our problems again. We have a decline in piracy, which is quite bad because it also affects productivity, which leads to unemployment and a lot of issues there, as you can see. Was it the MIT I was going to buff? Yes, it was. Okay, fantastic. So if I push this up to spend more on voodoo and education, this does have a long-term plan, which I'm hoping comes true. I'll spend 10 points to apply, and I'm now spending a lot more. But I'm going to skip this turn now. And guys, this might backfire, but then I'm going to push the creationism laws right through, one way or the other. I need to decide, though, before I do that, what pirates would think. So that costs 30, so I actually have 10 political capital I can shift about. So if I go back to my expenditure, and I look at what we're spending, state pensions actually has a lot spending, but it costs 26 to lower, so I can't really afford to lower it right now. We can look at other things like our health service, which I can't lower, and our schools, which I can't lower, and our military spending, which I definitely can't lower. Rail subsidies, I could lower rail subsidies. So if I were to say lower these right down to 0, unemployment would not be brought down by it. But other than that, okay, so there would be more motorists or pirate cars. Rail usage would go down, there'd be less commuters, there'd be less members of the commuter group. And I think I need to do this. I think I need to reduce it to just like 1.5 billion. Maybe just for now. So they're still getting subsidies. They can't complain. Looking out for them. But sometimes money needs to be saved. And if you've got anyone to take this up with, take it up with fucking Kenny Domingo, with 22% effectiveness, adding costs to all you poor and middle earning people. He's a bastard. And takes a fifth longer to implement anything. He's costing me as well as you guys. So that's that turn done. So I'm going to skip to next turn, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, there we go.
Oh Jesus! What just happened?
Don't guy dies.
Fantastically. Shoot them. Shoot them while vulnerable.
Oh gosh.
Master of.
Man down, motherfucker.
Oh, Viking!
Oh no! And then